Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the player ratings for Brighton nil, Arsenal nil. Make sure to smash the like button if you're watching this on replay. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know which player stood out for you. All those, let me know in the comment section. Obviously, not the result we were going for, but not the worst of results. At least it wasn't a defeat. That makes it 10 points out of 12. Which, if you're to ask anyone after the first international break, anyone would have definitely taken that. So obviously, we'll be rating all the 11 starting players and all the 3 players who came from the bench. So make sure as I go on player by player, let me know which kind of ratings you're giving the players. Obviously, not as high as the last game against Tottenham. This wasn't as good of a performance as that one, but a draw will move from there. So first up, in the player ratings, the first player we are going to talk about is obviously our goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. No one really expected him to be that much of to place that many games like after the international break. None of us expected that. Obviously, he's come through. He's probably now taken over the top goalkeeper, the first choice goalkeeper. You'd know that because he played in the derby. Anyone who plays in the North London derby is probably your first choice goalkeeper. It means you really trust them. So for me today, again, in the first half, he kind of dropped the ball somewhere from a corner. I'll kind of blame that on the rain as well. But apart from that, in the second half, so many incredible saves again. One that literally saved us a point. If it wasn't for him, we'd have probably have considered in the 86th minute. So far, I think I'm happy with Ramsdale, hoping to see the same from him. So I'm going to give Aaron Ramsdale an 8. I'm going to give Aaron Ramsdale an 8 for today. Let's go to the back four. First up, I'm going to start with the left back. That's Tierney. Again, I think the Chelsea City game early on in the season, he was all over the place, but recently has improved. He's making good tackles. He's keeping his position well. A couple of crosses from his side. I think nothing much he could have done about it. Not getting forward as much as I'd like, so I'm going to give Tierney a 7 as well. I'm going to give Tierney a 7. Ramsdale an 8, but Tierney I'm going to give a 7. So that's my rating for Tierney. Next up, let's go to the other wingback who had a lot to do today, and that is Tomiyasu. Man, what a challenge against Kukurea. I just say that in the match reaction. The link will be in the description in case you haven't watched it. And also in the YouTube card, a very, very hard game. Those guys on the left side were really moving all over the place. But I think the thing with Tomiyasu, he always keeps his concentration, doesn't rush into any challenges. I don't think I've even seen him pick up like yellow cards and silly fouls. He knows when to do it. And he's okay in terms of the air. We gave away so many corners and free kicks, but we managed to clear most of them. So Tomiyasu for today, just like Tierney on the other side, I am going to give him a 7. I saw someone saying he had a very, very terrible game. I don't think Tomiyasu had a terrible game. I think he dealt with what he needed to deal with. Obviously, Cucurella was having one of the best games of his life, but didn't really let's say get past him 100 times in the game, maybe dribble past him, putting him in such a tough position, committing foul after foul. I don't think Tomiyasu saw him all over the place, but Cucurella had a very, very good game. We kept a clean sheet. If we didn't keep a clean sheet, Tomiyasu and Tierney would have gotten a 6, but since we kept a clean sheet, I am going to give him a 7 for today. So Tomiyasu gets a 7. I do not think he was bad. I saw someone saying he was bad. He was not bad. The next one I'm going to rate is the center backs. Gabriel is first up. Gabriel has been almost like a new signing. Like since the day he came back, it's been solid, solid, solid. Like Pablo Mari against Chelsea, that was the last game. I've always said I don't think Gabriel would have been dominated like that against Lukaku. And since he has had so many games, like 4 games or something with Ben White, and they've played really well together. I don't know how they actually communicate. I'm not sure Gabriel has the best of has learned English that well yet, but I mean, they're doing their job. Ramsdale is doing great behind them. So Gabriel for today, I saw him making a couple of blocks. Those shots they were taking from outside the box, very, very crucial because a couple of them would have, maybe at least one of them would have ended in goal. So I'm going to give Gabriel a 7 for today. And that takes me to his partner for today. That was Ben White, obviously against his former team, Brighton. He came from Brighton at the beginning of the season. Not everyone was happy with his signing, but I think I think he's improved from the Brentford game. He's not all over the place like he was against Brentford. Made one mistake against Burnley that almost cost us. But I think he was okay against Tottenham. I think he was okay against Norwich as well. And I think he was also okay today. Those aerial balls, those crosses those guys were putting in, it needs someone to clear them. And I think Gabriel and Ben White did okay with them. Not 9 out of 9 performance, 9 out of 10 performances or 10 out of 10 performances, no. So for the clean sheet, that clean sheet gets them an extra point. So I'm going to give Ben White a 7. So Ramsdale gets an 8, Tomiyasu gets a 7, Tierney gets a 7, Ben White and Gabriel both get 7. So most of the defense gets 7, and Ramsdale gets an 8 for the couple of saves he made in the game. That takes me to the midfielders. Obviously, first up, we'll begin with the guy himself, Thomas Partey. Very water pass to Smith Rowe. That chance for Smith Rowe, water pass from Partey. He did not wait around. He just gave the pass like this immediately. That is the kind of fast flowing football we need in the team. No joking around. When you get a chance to pass the ball forward, do it. If it was El Neni, he probably wouldn't have picked out that pass. So I really like that from Partey. Solid again. I mean, before the players get to your defense, they need to get past you. And I think Partey does a good job. I saw a couple of interceptions from him. The only thing I'm going to say about Partey is the shots. He needs to improve on the shots. It's been like how many months? It's been like almost more than a year, and he's not improved on his shooting. He definitely needs to improve on his shooting. So Partey for today, for that shooting, and not the best of games in terms of domination. I'm going to give him a 6. Could easily have been a 7 for Partey, but I don't think it's worse than a 6. I'm going to give Partey a 6. If one of those shots at least went on target and stuff, I would have given him higher. But I think when you're having the ball, instead of taking 3 or 4 shots, keep the possession, pass the ball, keep the flow moving, keep the attack moving. Just shooting the ball is giving the opponent back possession. I don't think that is great. So I'm going to give Thomas Partey a 6 for today. His partner for today was Albert Sambi Lokonga. Albert Sambi Lokonga. The options were to either bring in Lokonga or bring in Niles or bring in El Neni or bring in Pepe to go attacking. He decided to stick with Lokonga. Very, very tough game. This was not an easy game for Lokonga. Their midfield is not easy. And if Bissouma was playing, it would have been worse. We'd have had to make the game would have been harder for us in midfield, basically. So not the best game of games for Lokonga. Also him, I've noticed he also takes so many shots off target. Needs to improve on that. Both of them need to improve on that. I think he's been chilling around with Thomas Partey for too long. But for today, Lokonga, I'm going to give him the same with Thomas Partey. I'm going to give him a 6. They are part of the defending. The two midfielders in the middle are part of the defending. I think they kind of allowed these guys a couple of shots and needed shots. So that's why I'm not giving them 7. That's why I'm giving them a 6. Both Partey and Lokonga. I think we allowed them so many shots from that position, that area as well. So I'm going to give Lokonga a 6. That takes me to the other guys. I'll come to your comments after I finish the ratings. Odegaard in front of them is going to get a 5. Not the best of performances. He was very, very quiet, not like he was against Tottenham, not the kind of performance. I don't think this is this kind of game, but we need him to perform in such kind of games. But I don't think the ball even got to him. Like Brighton, there's a time Brighton had possession 70. Odegaard, a couple of times again when he has the ball outside the box, and I was screaming, shoot, just try something, just try and shoot the ball or something. But he didn't, and he got subbed off, obviously. So not the best of performances. I am going to give Odegaard, as you can see, a 5. So Odegaard gets a 5. Those are our midfielders. Partey gets a 6. Lokonga gets a 6 as well. And Odegaard gets a 5. Very, very quiet game. 5 is basically average. I think Odegaard was average today. A bit of a drop from the last game where we had against last game we had against Tottenham. Next up, let's go to the 3 forward players. I think we'll start with let's start with Bukayo Saka. Again, obviously a drop for everyone from the Tottenham game. In the Tottenham game, I think I actually gave him a 9. That's how good he was in the Tottenham game. Today, though, there's a time he went. I think this when he had the ball in this the picture on screen. I think that time I think he should have crossed the ball earlier to Aubameyang. I don't know if I'm being harsh, but I think he should have crossed the ball. But in the first half, he's the guy who took our only shot of the game in the first half or in the half. And not the best of performances from Saka, but not as bad as most of our players were against Chelsea and Brentford and teams like that. So Bukayo Saka for today, definitely not a 9 performance like he had against Tottenham. I'm going to give Bukayo Saka a 6. Let me know if I'm being harsh. I've seen a couple of people saying 7, but these ratings are being done after I've watched the game once. Usually I watch the game like 2 or 3 more times, and I'm like, maybe I didn't see this. Nicely, maybe should have been a 5 or should have been a 7. But for now, I'm going to give him a 6. The next one, his friend from Ireland, another guy who was superb against Tottenham. That is Emil Smith-Rowe. I'm going to give Emil Smith-Rowe, before I give him a rating, I think he's one of our bright sparks. If we are ever going to get a goal in that game, it is going to go through Smith-Rowe. I do not think he's selfish. I've seen people saying he's selfish. I do not think he's selfish. It's just the decision making and the panic in the opposition area. I do not think he's selfish, though. And I think if we are ever going to get a goal in that game, it was going to come from Smith-Rowe. I love the way he pushes forward till the 90th minute. I saw him working hard from the back, pushing forward on the left side, on the right side. He was everywhere. The shot he took was from the right side. He was getting the ball in the middle. He was all over the place. So I think Smith-Rowe was probably one of our maybe second best player today after Ramsdale in terms of at least contribution and stuff. So I'm going to give Smith-Rowe a 7. Last time out for me against Tottenham, he got a 10. So that's a drop of 3. But I'm very happy to keep him fit. Hopefully he doesn't start every single game. We all know he's not the best in terms of staying fit, but I definitely hope he stays fit. We definitely need him to stay fit. So I'm going to give Smith-Rowe a 7 for being very hardworking today. And at least the couple of shots we had, he was the one, but he was a bit selfish for the goal. So I'd understand if you gave him a 6. He was not. Let me correct that. I do not think he was selfish. Most of you think he was selfish, so I'd understand why you'd give him a 6. But I think it's just the decision making and stuff. So I would like to ask him if he even saw Saka, or is it Pepe on the left side? I would like to ask him if he actually saw the player running. So Smith-Rowe gets a 7. Aubameyang gets a 5. Disappointing today. Very, very quiet. I'd love to have seen a performance like he had against Tottenham, getting involved. The thing I loved about Tottenham is that he was getting involved. Also, his hairstyle, I'm not sure about it as well. I prefer the old Aubameyang with the hairstyle without the band and stuff. Maybe that could have affected him as well. But Aubameyang is going to get a 5. Very, very average performance from him again today. Maybe even most of you would give him a 4 or something like that. But I don't think he's a disaster in terms of missing chances. So I'm going to give him a 5 for today. Aubameyang gets a 5. So for the forward players, I've given Smith-Rowe a 7, I've given Saka a 6, and I've given Aubameyang a 5. Saka 6 is going towards a 7, so around 6.5 if I was giving halves. And Smith-Rowe 7 is 7. I need nothing higher than that. Aubameyang's 5 is 5. You could probably go for 4.5 if you wanted, but I usually give players 4s and 3s if they actually missed chances and stuff like that. But I'm going to give him a 5. That takes me to the players from the bench. And the one who had most of the time was Pepe. I'm going to give him a 5. Could have been a 6 if he was a bit clinical and decision making was better. Giving away the ball in the 90th minute is very dangerous, Pepe. You cannot do that. And that gave Brighton a free kick, and they almost got a penalty if VAR actually decided to give them a penalty. Also, forward, too much dribbling. That's what I don't like about Pepe. Too much dribbling. Just hit the cross. Another thing about Pepe, I don't know if you guys know, the corners, my goodness. He's never improved in taking corners. How can the corners be so bad for 1 year straight? He gets a corner and hits the first man every single time. You cannot be doing that, Pepe. I want to see more of him, but I was not happy with the impression he had today. If you're going to come in for 30 minutes, you need to make an impression because he's been sitting on the bench. Martinelli is waiting for his chance as well, and you're the one who's been picked. So Pepe gets a 5 for today. Niles is not on for long at all, so I'm going to give him a 5. And Niles, Pepe, why am I forgetting who else came on? Niles, Pepe, it wasn't Cedric, it wasn't Tavares, it wasn't Lacazette. I think Lacazette was okay. I think Lacazette was actually okay. I'm actually going to give Lacazette a 6. I think he was definitely involved in the game. That pass from Partey to Smith-Rowe's chance, Lacazette was actually involved in it. Very, very quick passing. So I'm going to give him a 6 for today. I'm really hoping to see more of him after the international break. I don't want him to just rot on the bench, basically. I think we can still use him this season. I have a feeling that we could see him and Aubameyang starting to play together yet again after the international break. And not that it will work. We don't know if it's going to work. Most of the time it doesn't work, but I'm going to give Lacazette a 6. And MIKEL Arteta, the final one, I am going to give him a 6. As I said, I think there are more positives than negatives. The negatives is that we did not match up the performance we had against Tottenham, but I do not expect us to match up that kind of performance. It's worrying that people turn up for a derby but don't turn up for a game against Brighton. But I think it was very intense. Obviously, players played very hard last week. You cannot expect to just win. Norwich win, Burnley win, Tottenham win, Brighton win, Aston Villa win, Crystal Palace win. Otherwise, you'd be top of the table. If you win all of your games, you're going to be top of the table. So defensively, though, I think we've definitely improved. And I think the players they bought, they do have really done well. The likes of Tomiyasu and Ramsey, they've really done well. Very bold again today to stick with the same team. The reason he's getting a 6 as well, I would have probably brought in Martinelli instead of Niles, just put him for the last 5 minutes, see what he does. You never know. He could come in for 5 minutes and score the goal. But defensively, I think it has been okay. I was happy with the starting lineup as well, bringing in Lokonga instead of Xhaka or instead of El Neni, bringing in MIKEL Arteta. Maybe if you came on, you'd have performed better than what we had today. But yeah, I think positives, that clean sheet against Brighton, we are dealing very well with the aerial crosses. That was a problem in preseason. We are conceding from corners and free kicks. I think that has improved. We are dealing well with that. The only problem, we did not match up the performance against Tottenham, and also bring on Martinelli instead of Niles for the final 5 minutes. Just do something different. So that's my rating for Arteta for today. Is going to get a 6, although we kept a clean sheet. So Mikel Arteta gets a 6. So let me take a look at your comments before I end it. Let's see. Mohammed says Brighton were better than Arsenal, but if not Ramsdale, Brighton could have won. Yeah, they are definitely better. You could see they're a well-drilled team. They've been performing better than us for a longer time. I think from last season, they're even playing better than us, but they were not scoring their chances. They had I think last season in terms of XG, for the ones who understand it, in terms of expected goals, they had so many chances last season that they were missing. And I think this season they're playing really well. Their back five with Dunk, Duffy, and Ban playing really well. Their goalkeeper Sanchez has been great. Remember, it took Ryan from them, but their new goalkeeper is very, very good as well. And I think the likes of Mopel is having trouble with them. I agree with that. I think Ramsdale was great, but not just Ramsdale. I think also those crosses that we had to clear, the likes of Gabriel did great with. So I agree with that. Tactical says Lacazette and Pepe should have been on earlier. I agree with Lacazette, maybe not. Pepe does have a good record with them against Brighton, but Saka and Smith have been great since they started playing, like especially even recently against Tottenham, they were great. So I don't think you can take out Saka and bring in Pepe because Saka can do something. Saka and Smith are being involved. Maybe Pepe for Odegaard, you can make an argument. Maybe Lacazette for Aubameyang made an argument, but I think Pepe had 30 minutes. I think 60th minute is okay. Maybe Lacazette came on too late. So yeah, maybe I agree with them. Lacazette. Partey was poor. I mean, not a disaster. A couple of fouls should have not been a yellow card. I don't know why the referee gave him a yellow card. I don't think that is a yellow card. Shooting, terrible. I do not like that shooting. That absolutely took away 1 point from his rating. Domination, the quick passes up front, I really like because the only couple of openings we had, it was from him with the quick passes and the quick thinking. So I like that. So I'm going to I gave him a 6. Yep. Odegaard was sloppy and out of it today. 5, yeah, very average performance. Let's hope next time out he does appear in the game. RK says Arteta 6. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Smith Rowe was good, but got greedy. We could have won, but I still rate him highly. 7, best attacker today from us. Yeah, I gave him a 7. I don't think you're selfish. I just think decision making. I don't think you're selfish. I can show you selfish players, but I don't want to mention names. But there are a couple of really selfish players, really, really selfish players. Lacazette 6.5, better than Oba, should have been on longer. Yeah, Lacazette had more of an impact, but hey, it wasn't a disaster as I said. So let me recap it again for the player ratings. I gave Ramsdale an 8. That's my man of the match. Tomiyasu gets a 7. The other fullback, Tierney gets a 7. The other fullback. White gets a 7. Gabriel gets a 7. Partey gets a 6. Odegaard gets a 5. Saka gets a 6. Smith Rowe gets a 7. And Aubameyang gets a 5. So those are my player ratings. Did I say Lokonga? Lokonga gets a 6. Sorry, I forgot Lokonga. And then Niles gets a 5. Pepe gets a 5. Lacazette gets a 6 from the bench. And Mikel Arteta gets a 6. So, I mean, 3 wins from 4. I'll do more videos from tomorrow and Monday. Obviously, international break next up, talking about this 4 weeks we've had, which players have really improved us and stuff. Because I think our defense has been really good. 1 goal in 4 games, I'll definitely take that. So those are your player ratings. Thank you everyone for tuning. Thank you for this super chat, RK, $5. I appreciate it. By the way, anyone who wants to become a member and support the channel, you can by clicking on the join button. Those are your player ratings. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll take the draw. I'm happy with the draw. Not happy with the draw, but I'm okay with the draw. So thank you for everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoy your rest of your weekend. Keep things safe, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.